I don't know if you saw, but Harbaugh said, that Jim Harbaugh said that the Chargers had an advantage because of how hard they've worked out in the offseason. I don't know if that's a reference to the strength coach that he brought from Michigan or what have you, but it's just great to just see him talking and representing the Chargers. That to me, they're going to have a fullback, and I don't even know what the hell they're going to look like. I mean, do you have any sense of what the Los Angeles Chargers are going to look like when they kick off against the Raiders, a great Week 1 game later this fall?
I think they're going to look a lot like all of Jim Harbaugh's teams. And I think I've used this line with you before, and I know you're buddies with Joel Klatt as well. And I'll steal the line I heard Joel use a couple times, which was, and he may have used it on your show, I'm not sure. But, people have gotten really obsessed with making Justin Herbert better on 2nd 11, and Jim Harbaugh is going to get him in 2nd and 5,
Right.
And, I just think there's I don't know if there's any other coach, at least in my time covering the league, where what he does is so identifiable and so transferable and has gone everywhere he's gone with him. And from Stanford to San Francisco to Michigan, and now presumably to the Chargers, it has looked the same. And it is an ability to run the ball. It's a certain dominance at the line of scrimmage. It's having stars on the lines of scrimmage, your tackles, your edge rushers, your interior guys. It's having smart players everywhere. It's making your quarterback better by asking less of him. I think that's really what it is. And that, I think the tendency a lot of times with young quarterbacks is once they show promise, it's like, okay, like let's put more on their shoulders and let's ask more of them. And I think that's where sometimes these things fail. Where what I think the genius of what Jim Harbaugh does is he's asking less of the quarterback. He's showing the quarterback, you got a team around you, and we're going to support you, and we're not going to put the world on your shoulders, and we're going to incrementally ask a little more of you, but we're not going to do it all at once, And, so I think what we'll see from Jim Harbaugh is something that looks a lot like what we saw at Michigan, a lot like what we saw at San Francisco, a lot like what we saw at Stanford. And, I think the cool thing about it, again, is that he's kind of letting us into his world a little bit more than he used to, which I had actually heard, and I'm sure you heard this too, Rich, like when they had the disastrous COVID season in 2020, and he brought in all the young assistants and, the Ravens staff to go get Mike McDonald. One of the things I remember hearing back then was that, like, a lot of the people that came into the Michigan building then got him to lighten up a little bit and got him to, I think kind of let people in a little bit more. And, maybe we're all the beneficiaries of it now and getting to see a lot of what the Chargers are doing as it's happening.
Albert Breer here on the Rich Eisen Show. And, the fact that I'm sitting here and asking, what are the Jim Harbaugh Chargers going to look like, I think is based on the fact of the moves that were made in the first few weeks of his arrival there,
right,
based on the cap realities of the team that he inherited. I think when he took the gig, general sense was, yes, there's going to be some harsh realities cap-wise that are coming and things of that nature. But I think the general sense was, I can't wait to see what Jim looks like with the Charger team that we've seen the last couple of years, as opposed to the reconfiguration of it. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.